Hi everyone, my name is Sydney Covarrubias. I'm a senior here at Texas State with a major in Human Development and Family Sciences, and then with a minor in social work. So for this semester, I volunteered through the remote volunteer placement, so everything was 100% online. I chose the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services as my agency. This one just caught my attention because I love anything that has to do with children, families, pretty much anything in the human services profession. So I thought this one would be very interesting for me to research throughout the semester. And so I hope everyone enjoys this presentation. A brief history of over this agency is the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services was established on October 17, 1979. The current agency executive is Johnny Collette. Legislation that created OSERS, that's what they use to refer to themselves instead of saying Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services. So throughout the presentation, you might hear me say that. The founding law of the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services is the U.S. Code Title 20, Chapter 48, Subchapter 2. What prompted the creation of OSERS? The Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services, it understands the many challenges still faced by individuals with disabilities and their families. Therefore, OSERS is committed to improving results and outcomes for people with disabilities of all ages. OSERS supports programs that serve millions of children, youth, and adults with disabilities. The mission, vision, and goals of OSERS. The mission is to improve early childhood educational and employment outcomes and raise expectations for all people with disabilities and their families, their communities, and the nation. I really feel like this is a strong mission statement, and it really gives a wide picture of what they're really trying to do with this agency, and that is just advocate and support people with disabilities and promote their equality and inclusion in an educational setting and a workplace setting. Pretty much a whole environmental setting as well, to make sure that places are adapted for people with disabilities. The vision of this program is that all Americans with disabilities will live and thrive with their disabilities in their own communities. And I really agree with this. I feel like this is very important, making sure that people with a disability can feel comfortable with being themselves and really adapting in their own community. A goal of OSERS is to support programs that help educate children and youth with disabilities and provide for the rehabilitation of youth and adults with disabilities. OSERS provides a wide array of supports to parents and individuals, school districts, and states in two main areas: special education and vocational rehabilitation. I also feel like this is a really strong and important goal of this agency as a whole, just because they are promoting equality for these individuals with disabilities, as well as the people who are supporting them, which I feel like is very important, just they because everybody promotes equality for individuals with disabilities. Their parents, their families, their schools, they're also supporting them the best way they can. So it's important that this agency provides those funds, those resources, and anything that can help them reach these goals. Benefits and services of this agency. What does OSERS do? OSERS guides and supports a comprehensive array of programs and projects that support individuals with disabilities. OSERS develops and implements policy and legislation that directly impacts individuals with disabilities and their families. OSERS also plays a critical role in monitoring these laws and regulations. Something that I really learned throughout the semester was how much a policy can affect a client. So they do a really great job of monitoring these laws and improving them or adjusting them to meet the needs of their clients, which I think is really great. What does OSERS provide? Through its programs and activities, It provides an array of grants and other funding opportunities. This kind of touches on what I said earlier about them having to monitor the grants and the fundings and the policies that really do affect their clients. They also do an awesome job of supporting inclusion and equality for every individual with a disability, whether that be in an educational setting or a workplace setting. The primary client system. The Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services serves all people of all ages with disabilities and their families. OSER supports over 1 million children, youth, and adults with disabilities. The primary client system for this agency is students pursuing an education and employed adults with disabilities. I really love this community of people because no matter what they're going through, what challenges they're facing, these people are so determined to get an education and to be in a workplace and just receive the same amount of advocacy and equality in each of these aspects of their lives. And OSERS does a really great job of promoting all of that for them. Social issues that are addressed through this agency. In the special education department, there is a lack of support, isolation of students, lack of parent involvement, overcrowded classrooms. The lack of support really is through the family, and the level of advocacy that they have is what I have found through my research. It really takes a strong person to advocate for the resources and for just a student to be eligible to receive special education resources at school is so important. Overcrowded classrooms is a major issue that I came across while researching this agency, and we find it a lot in lower socioeconomic schools that don't really have the resources to refer students out to maybe psychologists or somewhere to get them diagnosed with their disability to receive that, to be able to be in those special education programs. A lot of it is also seen with students who do not speak English as a first language. They're automatically put in these programs when they really shouldn't be. They just really need to be in an ESL program instead. The rehabilitative department shows a lack of compensation for disability as well as a lack of adaptation of physical environment, meaning the environments for these people with disabilities is not at the level that it should be. It's very hard for them to move around, or they can't get from place to place easily. The eligibility requirements. All people with disabilities are eligible to receive services from OSERS. Further testing may be done in order to receive different types of services or receive compensation or assistance. There are different tests conducted for different levels of disabilities. Feedback from service users. This is a picture of the website you can log on to give your feedback. They also will take any kind of feedback that they can through email, through personal contact. So they really do value their clients' feedback. Some gaps that are associated with the agency and social welfare of their clients are level of advocacy and the amount of advocacy, and making sure that the people that are advocating for their clients are the right people. Funding, there's a lot of discrepancies between smaller schools and larger schools, richer schools and poorer schools, and the level of funds given to special education programs. And then, of course, equality. We're still fighting for equality for many communities, especially the community of people with disabilities. The success of OSERS. OSERS has developed many different departments for children and adults with disabilities, along with their families. Many demographics are served through this agency, and we really are seeing results with the establishment of this agency. The most memorable experience of the semester is, for me, exploring the NASW Code of Ethics for multiple assignments, also diving deep into each competency and really understanding the concepts behind them. That's something that I'm really going to value and take with me through my journey, through my career journey. The most significant information learned. The most significant information that I learned through completing this course is how to effectively conduct research. I will be completely honest, this class pushed me to my limits through in researching, but now I really feel like I know how to research and I know where to look for things. I know how to organize my thoughts. Um, so that's something that I really value, and I really feel like social workers value as well. And these are my resources. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you had a great semester.